Hey folks, we're here with a book haul, and I have quite a few books to show you here in this haul. The first thing I want to say is all the books that you see here cost me less than $20, and I got them in New York City in a store called The Bookseller. Now, The Bookseller is a store that's run purely by volunteers, and they're only open 20 hours a week. Saturday is really the only day I do not work, and The Bookseller is open. I found this bookstore last week and I purchased 2 books in the last 10 minutes that they were open. I found 2 books I wanted. This week I said I have to go back, and so this is the entire haul of everything I got. Over the last 2 weeks, I spent only $20 and I got everything you're about to see here. We're just gonna start from the top. Last week, I found Stephen King's The Colorado Kid. This is one of the hard case crime novels. Stephen King now has 3 novels in this series, and I have none of them in my collection. So I figured I'd start with this beautiful looking femme fatale type lady in a black dress on the cover. That's all I know about this. I'm really not that much into crimes and thrillers. I more like the supernatural horror. This is interesting. It's gonna be different for me. The next book has a funny story because I bought it at the same time, end of watch, and I looked at the cover and I said, I don't remember having this Stephen King cover in my collection. I have a pretty good recollection of all the Stephen King covers I have. And the reason is I already have this book, but I have the hardcover version, which has a different cover art. Yeah, I purchased this book twice, but it's okay. I have a good friend, Elevated. I'm going to send him this copy of this book because he doesn't have it. It's a little bit damaged here in the corner, but that's okay. All the books were used, and I paid $1.25 for each of these 2. The next book is Renfield, Slave of Dracula. I saw the movie Renfield with Nicolas Cage as Dracula, and if this is the same, I think it'll be interesting to see, to read the book. Again, it's used, the cover is creased. Would not mind getting into this, and look at the cover. The red of the cover, the spiders, the flies. This is definitely a cool cover. I got a few classics, and when I say classics, things that I remember reading when I was in grade school or in high school that I no longer own or only had because it was part of school, and like you borrow the book from school and then you have to return it. With that said, William Golding, Lord of the Flies. This needs no introduction. Will I reread it? I don't know. It is a classic, but I definitely wanted it for my collection. Now, there was a few H.G. Wells books that I picked up, and we're just going to go over all the H.G. Wells books together. I've never read anything by H.G. Wells. I know he's a big influence to a lot of the modern day writers. So I picked up The Time Machine by H.G. Wells. I picked up A Short History of the World by H.G. Wells. And I also picked up The History of Mr. Polly by H.G. Wells. We have a few more fiction books here to go over. This one by Paul Levine, Mortal Sin. It says nationally best-selling author Paul Levine. I don't know anything about this book, but I decided to give it a try, and if you know anything about the author, about the book, let me know in the comments down below. And the final fiction book I purchased was The Memoirs of Elizabeth Frankenstein. This was in the free section. As we left, they were like, oh, feel free to choose 2 books from the free section. We only found this one that we wanted, me and my wife, and she's the one who pointed it out. Big book, hardcover, for free, by Theodore Roszak. I know nothing about this, but I did enjoy the original Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. If this has something to do with his wife's account of the tale or something similar to that, it might be interesting to dive into it. So yeah, we picked this up. Now there's 2 books that are more on the science bent. The first one was The Drunkard's Walk, How Randomness Rules Our Lives. This is a book I've seen and wanted for a while, and I really like books like this that go over statistics, like the Michael Pollan books about food. I like the Malcolm Gladwell books as well, and so this book definitely caught my eye, and yeah, I can't wait to get into it. And the last one, Aliens, Science Asks, is there anyone out there? So I'm not sure if this is about the Fermi paradox or anything like that, but the cover got my eye. A book about extraterrestrials with all the military videos coming out recently. I figured this was an interesting book to read on top of the UFO book that I purchased the last time I did a book haul. Lots of books in front of me, lots of things to read. I finished reading the Buddhism book. The way I'm reading my books is I'll read one thing that is Stephen King, something that's not Stephen King, something that is Stephen King, something that's not Stephen King. Yeah, with that said, if any of the books that I have in front of me really speak to you, or you've read them and you love them and you think I should make them a priority, let me know down below. Other than that, I just wanted to show off these books that I purchased in this haul, let you know that I finished a book on Buddhism and I started Lisey's Story by Stephen King. Hopefully I could have a video on the Buddhism book and Lisey's Story up maybe end of January, beginning February. So we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave a comment down below and I'll catch you on the next one. I don't know why I did the guns. That's a funny thing to do. Ciao.